Hello all, welcome to the Lunar Sea Spire Cartoon Fan Podcast. This is episode 331, and today we'll be talking about Orangasnake Begins from Mau Mau, Heroes of Pure Heart. I'm GC13.
And I'm David.
So decisions. What is the moment of Orangasnake Begins? There are some really good ones.
Well, there's multiple episodes here. There's like the ultimate Endgame series finale villain episode. There's an Origins episode. There's 2 episodes.
Well, I don't know. The messing with Orangasnake could have been its own episode all by itself.
Yeah, just
hilarious.
Hijinks with Orangasnake's feelings. Also, just an episode in which we try to seamlessly pronounce all of these combinatorial names, which I did not manage to write down, and which I will not attempt to pronounce at any point during this episode. But suffice to say, they were cool.
I am impressed that Mau Mau was able to remember the first one's name.
Yeah, I like that they didn't make it a joke that it was unpronounceable. They just went for it. By the time we got to the Mega Orangasnake, Giraffe, Rata, whatever, it was great.
Speaking of Ratarang, his I'm Italian over here was great today.
It was very on point. They're always on point. All of them are beautiful little family who we finally get to see a peek behind the curtains when I believe it's the giraffe member?
Yeah, Ramaraf. We don't want them to think they hurt us too bad.
No, and we see what motivates their we're okay, because they really do feel as if they're in some kind of relationship with Mau Mau, which Mau Mau does recognize at the end.
Mau Mau clearly he fears Orangasnake. He's just not in fear with him.
Not in fear with them.
Now I'm getting flashbacks to the Lego Batman movie. I like to fight around.
There's good jokes to be made around villain relationships. They're not quite romance.
You know, actually, for the most part, Mau Mau and Orangasnake do have a monogamously antagonistic relationship.
Well, and it keeps going.
Neither of them are fighting other people right now, so I think they're serious.
When we eventually get there, episode 40, very much takes this relationship in fun directions. They keep this up. Mau Mau says he's not in fear, and he's not in fear, but he's not fighting around.
No, very serious.
So but there is an origin story here involving nanners.
Oh yeah, gotta get Tanner his nanner.
Gotta get Tanner. What is the snake's name though? Because it's Tanner and
wasn't it Cody or something?
It's just something so plain. Which is, I mean, they just state it. Also, I don't know how to, I guess you have to know their names because I can't refer to Orangasnake in half parts.
Let's see here. Kobe, not Cody. Okay.
Kobe. So anyway, yeah, Kobe.
Cody's the former TNT champion. Very different guy.
Yeah, exactly. So that was beautiful. Of course, there is a rivalry with Mau Mau that's at the heart of their union. And I still don't. It seems like they figured out the mechanics of being a single unit really quickly. Orangasnake just kind of becomes one as soon as they're united by a banana. Sure.
Yeah, this is one of those it's a cartoon lol things, and I'm usually all about it's a cartoon lol on something like Mau Mau, but for Orangasnake, it really bothers me, like the mechanics of how does this work?
How are they so united in thought and coordination? Because they really are, and there's no montage of them becoming one. It's perfect synergy, and maybe it's through their union of crime? I don't know.
They were partners for a while. They were even ecological activists. Ooh, bad dudes, right?
I love that they threw in and they're environmental activists. Because, it's the same poison ivy thing. There's something good there.
But so what? It's like, does Kobe squeeze on exact parts of Tanner's abs to tell him exactly where to put his arms or something? Or
no,
Tanner just know what the objective is?
I think Tanner is the brains of the entire operation. I think Kobe's just sitting up top there talking smack. I feel like they just have the same goals, but I don't know if he's really directing him in any way. That's a good theory, though. I mean, because he is wrapped around him, but we just don't see that. It's not visually shown in any way. That could be a thing.
I don't feel like we've ever seen Tanner act when Kobe could not see. It's if Kobe can't see, Tanner can't see.
I don't know. I just don't think it's Ratatouille. I feel like Tanner's making just as many decisions, but who knows? This was the question. I mean, if there was any long-standing mystery in this show outside the Ruby Pureheart, I mean, the first time you see Orangasnake, you were thinking, what is going on there? There's a face. There's a monkey's face and a orangutan's face in the center of that thing.
think of Garfield and Friends every single time.
And as someone who did not view Garfield and Friends, you will have to enlighten me on the relationship.
On Garfield and Friends, there's a character, Wade the Duck, who has a little thing around his waist with his head on it, and the head always matches his facial expression. Like if he does a double take, the thing will do a double take too. It's great.
But does that have a mysterious backstory, or is it just like, what's that guy's name in OKKO? His shirt.
Lol, it's a cartoon.
Yeah, it's just lol, it's a cartoon. I like that guy in OKKO whose shirt always matches what he's thinking. That's always.
Oh, Brandon, yeah.
Yeah, good old
that
Brandon.
Retail trader.
So we have then transitioning from this, incredibly touching backstory, we get to how that origin carries over into the very strong feelings that Orangasnake has about, being a truly fearful opponent to Mau Mau. And finally, that dream is revealed, at least to him, he thinks it's been revealed, when the Ruby Pureheart mysteriously and inexplicably gives him power. 2 souls for 1, some weird trade there that apparently hasn't had any consequences since, I don't think.
I guess it decided it didn't want their souls.
I can't imagine why. The design of this giant mech thing, I mean, they put in all the stops. This definitely, it was just the joke that, this is like this just final level, this is my final form thing, attacks, and literally no one in our core cast cares at all. No one is concerned. Adorabat's like, where's the pizza? We can't have pizza without a home. Badger Clops doesn't give a single flip the entire time. And Mau Mau is just like, yes, finally, I can become a worthy hero because my opponent is finally becoming a worthy opponent. It's great. I love that their reactions, like, there's never a single doubt or fear or sweat anywhere.
I love how even as Mau Mau is about to die, he's still completely unafraid. He only lies about being afraid. So, like, usually when he said, oh no, I wasn't really afraid, usually that would be a lie, just like in the episode where he was popular, where Badger saying is, feed me little lies.
Right, I mean, sometimes some monsters are legitimately dangerous. Yeah.
But we heard Mau Mau's internal monologue there, and he was not the least bit afraid. He was just trying to come up with an insult, and he's like, wait, I'm not supposed to do that. I'm supposed to de-escalate.
Right, remember, kids, good sheriffs de-escalate situations. Yeah, so Mau Mau finally learns somehow how to de-escalate, and, our villains at least one time get to hear that they're feared, which is very sweet, before they get their butts sent flying back through the air.
Shower thought. If you have to de-escalate, is it okay to take the escalator down, or do you have to take the stairs?
Yeah. That's a good one.
Not gonna lie, I like that one almost as much as my Bo the Historian joke from the She-Ra discussion video. So.
Oh, good callback. Good callback. No,
I feel very strongly about the escalator joke.
No, I like GC. I like the de-escalator. I mean, there's more we can do there for sure.
We'll workshop it.
What is there to say about Orangasnake? We find out his deepest insecurity, that he's generally not very good, in Mau Mau's words. I think we can all find something to relate to in that. And we also get the start of the mystery of the Pureheart kind of ramping up a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it's been how long?
Since this episode, you mean?
I mean, I guess we could go by episode count or days. It's been a while. That's a slow burn. Long-term storytelling, baby.
It's a slow burn. I mean, I don't know how many episodes later it is from here, but we get a little bit of... We still haven't gotten to Adorabat, right? Yeah, so there's more to come.
No, Adorabat hasn't zinged anybody on this podcast, sir.
Nope, so that's still coming up. But yeah, I don't know, with that little hint of that, at this point, we really have no idea why. I mean, it got shot with a laser, so maybe that gives it a little bit of activation.
Yeah. I mean, that's where the excess energy came from, I think. But why it chose to spit it out in that specific form? Very good question.
But a lot of power, right? I mean, we don't, of course, I guess that machine. Now, what about that machine? Why was that in the dump? Is that like some old mech somebody'd been working on that was just animated?
I think most of it's the ship, just reassembled.
Okay, just a reassembled form. I guess I hadn't really noticed the head. Is the head a feature of the ship? Like at the front of the ship?
I haven't really gone over the design of Mecha, whatever his name is, because all I know is I look at that thing and I'm reminded of, you were talking about how he's the big, impressive, true final boss of the video game, and all I'm thinking of is I'm reminded of Zero Punctuation when Yahtzee said, it's like a concept artist sat down and started drawing and never stopped.
It does have that, doesn't it? It's like, it's just so over the top, and the cinematics of it. Like, they make it cinematic, which makes jokes like when Mao Mao slips underneath and is about to roll them on his feet, and he's just like, your friends don't really like you. It's great, because that's just pure Mao Mao humor. Shoved into this, ridiculous fight scene.
That was before he became Mecha.
Oh, right, that's when he just shoves his hands, into his friends' mouths, and they're okay with that! Or they're not quite okay with it.
I did really like that fight, though, because Mao Mao was like, no, I'm not using the sword for this one. I want fisticuffs.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Also, we were talking just before the podcast started, how Mao Mao is so on point with identifying the emotional weakness of Orangasnake and friends. And how? He's never been emotionally in touch with himself at all. Is he just lucky that they wear their feelings on their sleeves, that it's easy to manipulate them? Because Mao Mao doesn't understand himself at all.
That might be part of it. The Sky Pirates are very stupid, but I think the bigger thing is he just got a lucky guess because they showed him struggling to come up with that insult. That's why you're generally not that very good, because
he has no idea at the start. So yeah, maybe that was the seed, once he figures that out.
But, I mean, remember we had an earlier episode where Orangasnake said, while you were wallowing in your, family history or whatever, and he's like, wait, how did you know I was thinking about that? It's like, I didn't! It was just a lucky guess!
And that doesn't seem to be driving Orangasnake, so that's great.
Maybe we can say it's the power of the Ruby Pure Heart is speaking to everyone.
Somehow. So, thinking about, how maybe that's affecting everybody or just, how everybody's feelings are affecting them in the show, I noticed, selecting this episode on the old Apple TV today, that it just showed up Common Sense Media Ratings. I kind of remembered those. It's like an organization that helps parents understand shows, and, they've had...
I remember when they utterly failed to understand Steven Universe as a series.
They had a dramatically bad take on Steven Universe with just, it was bad.
They watched the scene where they're trying to use Steven's gem to turn off the laser light cannon in the second episode, and it's like, whatever dialogue they heard in their ears had nothing to do with the dialogue that came out of the television. What they said was happening was completely divorced from the actual context.
Well, yeah, and they thought, astounding. It's just weird. They were like, Garnet and Amethyst are caricatures and bad portrayals of people on TV, and it's just, the whole thing was crazy. So, ignoring all that horribleness, this is actually a good preface, because now we can bring their judgment into question, because they always list, how are there positive role models in this show? So they always have a rating on a 0 to 5 scale of positive role models. 3 out of 5 for Mao Mao.
Wait, what rating?
3 out of 5. And by the way, they don't have to give it anything. That's not saying it's like mediocre. That's saying there is at least 3 out of 5 level content of positive role models demonstrated.
Okay, so that means...
Mao Mao. Like, some things are 0 out of 5, like there's no drugs or sex. They put 0 out of 5.
So 3 out of 5, they're counting, I guess, Tanya, Snugglemane, And who's the last one?
Tanya?
Who's
Children
Yeah, Tanya
should watch
Keys.
Tanya Keys, the thief and trickster?
Tanya Keys is my role model.
To do what? To fool people and
Sometimes you just gotta thumb your nose at authority.
I mean,
Like, you don't let people own you. That's what Tanya Keys believes in.
Okay. King Snugglemane, really? So that's the two?
Self-confidence.
Right, in the face of hair loss, sure.
And
Yeah, he doesn't have any other qualities that come in the way of
who's
that.
my third positive role model going to be? Badger Clops, run away from your problems.
I was thinking, Adorbat's dad is meek, but he's a dad, so he's got that going for him.
Oh, you know they didn't watch that far.
No. So anyway, in case their judgment was already in question, 3 out of 5, I think Parker Simmons would get a kick out of that.
Yeah, he would probably demanding to know, who on my show do you think is a good role model?
He's got to actively work again. I mean, I don't think he does have to work any harder to demonstrate that there's no positive role models. Although I will say, Mau Mau, he doesn't get it a lot of the time, and neither does Badger Clops, but sometimes they do okay. They sometimes do okay. A lot of the times they get in the way of themselves, but sometimes they do okay.
I mean, I guess if you come at it from the viewpoint of understanding that even the best people are imperfect, Mau Mau and the crew are going to be good role models because although they have all sorts of not great qualities, their hearts are genuinely in the right place. And, they really try until they succeed. So,
yeah, except
I guess
we just talked about Steven Universe. I think that demonstrates, not saying that, better show because or whatever, although, I mean, I like Steven Universe, but those characters are flawed, but, in a different way. That's good. These guys are flawed in a purely funny way, but not in a, educational way.
Yeah, any rating site that's gonna be talking about does this show contain positive role models for your children isn't actually going to use that explanation I just made up. They want, cut and dry, Mufasa good, Scar bad kind of thinking.
Right, or maybe something closer at least to Steven Universe, where, Steven's a good boy who does nice things, except maybe then later on that actually mentally scars him a lot, and then he has to deal with that. So that's even, it's a caution. It's a tale of caution for children.
They would probably rank Future much lower than the main series, most likely.
And, you got Pink Pearls handling things. That's a positive role model. And then Prince Pearl.
I miss Mega Pearl.
Yeah. So there you go. Oranga-Snake, big final boss. Emotional things happening. Ruby Pureheart, big question marks. This is a good one.
And Tanya Keys is the best role model.
I can agree on that. This show contains Pinky. It gets 0. If you have Pinky, it's gone. You can't focus. If I had a child watching Mau Mau, I wouldn't want them to see an episode with Pinky in it. Because the kid's just going to start running around. They're going to get stuff on their hands, wiping it on the walls. They're going to be making fart jokes. And there's no role model. Sorry, that's off my chest now. Off my chest.
Hide the mayonnaise.
Oh, God. Would not have a house with mayonnaise and a child that has watched Pinky.
Anyway, guys, that's been us on Oranga-Snake Begins. Join us next week. Until then, I'm GC13.
And I'm David, and stay away from my mayonnaise. And leave us a review anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Later, everybody. Our opening and closing music is by Mark Soto. For more cartoon-related content, please visit lunarceasefire.com.